Damn phones, Babylons can't crack the code.
This is Anthony Richardson. He is a quarterback prospect for the 2023 NFL Draft out of Florida. He's projected to be a first-rounder and is seen as the number 3 quarterback in this class behind Bryce Young and CJ Stroud. He's seen as a boom or bust prospect. You either think he's going to have a good NFL career, or you think he's an overhyped, overrated quarterback going into this year's NFL Draft. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about Anthony Richardson and his football story, what he was like in high school, college, and of course, what he's like now as an NFL prospect heading into the 2023 NFL Draft. Before I move on, remember to smash that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. Now let's get into it. Anthony Richardson was a part of the 2020 recruiting class, and according to the 24/7 Sports Composite Rankings, he was a 4-star, the number 204 player in the nation, and the number 9 dual-threat quarterback in the 2020 cycle. Richardson attended Eastside High School in Gainesville, Florida, and in his high school football career, he threw for 4,633 yards, 37 touchdown passes compared to 19 interceptions, while rushing for a total of 1,633 career rushing yards and 41 total rushing touchdowns. He was also an Elite 11 quarterback. He held a total of 17 offers coming out of high school from schools such as Florida, Boston College, Georgia, Louisville, Michigan, and Penn State, just to name a few, and he would end up staying home and going to Florida. When Anthony Richardson first got to Florida in 2020, he wasn't expected to be someone that played a lot. He was expected to redshirt and be a backup quarterback, and that he did, as he was a backup to Kyle Trask and Emory Jones. He would play in a total of 4 games. In those 4 games, he attempted 2 passes, completing one of them for 27 yards, 1 touchdown to the air, and 1 interception. However, on the ground, he showed a ton of potential like he did in high school, where he had 61 total yards on 7 attempts, averaging nearly 9 yards a carry. As a redshirt freshman in 2021, Anthony Richardson was primarily a backup quarterback to Emory Jones. However, he did start in one of the 8 games that he appeared in, and ultimately he did see quite a bit of time as a second-string quarterback. All in all, for his redshirt freshman season, it was a little up and down as a passing quarterback, but he did show a lot of potential when he was in, showing multiple times being a flashy quarterback that had potential with a long arm and great dual-threat abilities, such as his big-time performance versus South Florida, in which on 3 passing attempts he threw for 152 yards, 2 touchdown passes, while rushing for 115 rushing yards and 1 rushing touchdown. In his redshirt freshman year for that 21 campaign, Anthony Richardson would end up completing 59% of his passes, throwing for 529 yards, 6 touchdowns compared to 5 interceptions, while accounting for 401 total yards on the ground, averaging 8 yards a carry and 3 touchdowns. As 2021 came to an end for the Florida Gators, everyone kind of had the suspicion that Anthony Richardson was going to be the starting quarterback going into 2022, and that's exactly what happened. And it was even more confirmed when, of course, Emory Jones would enter the portal and end up at Arizona State. So going into 2022, he was now going to have his 3rd year as a quarterback for the Gators, being a redshirt sophomore, and it was going to be his first year as a starting quarterback. And some thought of him as a Heisman dark horse. In the 2022 college football season, Anthony Richardson would have his best year of his college football career and ultimately did improve as a quarterback from 2021 to 2022. However, he did still have some of his moments where he did struggle as an accuracy passer and did have some games that weren't necessarily his best as a passer, but he was pretty much a consistent good runner every game that he appeared in for the most part. In the 12 games that he appeared in 2022, he completed 54% of his passes, threw for 2,549 yards, 17 touchdowns to the air, 9 interceptions, while accounting for a total of 654 rushing yards, averaging 6 yards a carry, and a total of 9 rushing touchdowns. After his final game versus Florida State, Anthony Richardson would declare his name for the 2023 NFL Draft. He would end up finishing his time at Florida with a total of 3,105 passing yards, completing 55% of his passes, 24 touchdowns compared to 15 interceptions, and a career total of 1,116 rushing yards and 12 rushing touchdowns. For this next part of the video, I'm going to be talking about Anthony Richardson as an NFL prospect, talking about some of the pros and cons of his game. Richardson is seen as an NFL prospect as a boom or bust kind of player. Of course, he has potential. Some even say he may have the most potential in this entire NFL draft class, especially at the quarterback position. However, he has the potential, but he isn't necessarily the best quarterback as of right now. As we saw at Florida, he did struggle some with his accuracy. Everyone knows he has a cannon of an arm, but sometimes he would strictly just miss players by quite a bit. As an NFL prospect, Anthony Richardson gets a lot of praise for his size, standing in at 6'4", 236 pounds. He's also extremely athletic, being one of the best, if not the best, standout dual-threat quarterback in this entire 2023 NFL draft class. He has amazing speed. Some say he runs a 4.4 40-yard dash, and of course, a trait that a lot of people love outside all of those is his arm. Anthony Richardson has a very strong arm, one of the best in college football from 2023 when you're talking about making deep throws and making throws really all over the field with a strong cannon like he has. However, he does have a number of weaknesses. The biggest criticism about Anthony Richardson as an NFL draft prospect quarterback is that he's not really the most accurate passer, and you need that in quarterbacks. He has a strong arm. However, at Florida, he was very inconsistent with his accuracy, as he completed in his career 55% of his passes. And in the one lone season that Anthony Richardson was a starting quarterback at Florida, the 2022 campaign, he completed 54% of his passes. He has a very strong and lively arm. However, he was pretty inconsistent with his accuracy throughout the entirety of his Florida career. Another subject of criticism for Anthony Richardson is that he doesn't necessarily have the best mechanics in the world, especially for this 23 quarterback class. Of course, he can develop into a more accurate passer and one that has better mechanics in the NFL, especially in the right system. But with all these things considered with his pros and cons, he is viewed ultimately as a big boom or bust guy. He's either going to be someone that thrives in the NFL, or he's truly going to be someone that never really lived up to the hype that he had going into the draft, or ultimately may end up in a system that doesn't favor him as much as others. My thoughts on Anthony Richardson as a quarterback prospect is that he has a ton of potential. He has a ton of intangibles and things that you like in a quarterback. However, he ultimately, in my opinion, needs to be in a system that favors him. If he's on a team where he really isn't fitting their offense, or the team doesn't really fit his style of play, I don't see Anthony Richardson developing into one of the better quarterbacks in the NFL. However, if he falls to the right team, the right system, the potential, it's there, and it's going to depend fully on the development of Anthony Richardson as a passer. Well, guys, if you made it this far in today's video, drop something down in the comment section below. What are your thoughts of AR as a quarterback prospect for this upcoming 2023 NFL Draft? And before you head out, remember to smash that like button, turn on those post notifications, and subscribe if you haven't already. B. Kelly out.